The girls club, the girls club, the girls club. The girls club, the girls club, the girls club. It's my club and I'm a girl, yeah.
Hello, and welcome back to the Girls Club. I am your president, Emily, and in today's club meeting, we have a slew of conversations to discuss. Slew is a word that I like because it's something that I don't say a lot. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not entirely sure what it means. Slew, it kind of reminds me of the word Lewis for some reason. Slewis. And by the word Lewis, I mean like the name Lewis. It was always confusing to me when people would spell their name Lewis, like Louis. Like, is that French? I was used to the Lewis and Clark spelling of the word Lewis. You know what I'm saying? Is there any Lewises out there? Any Lewises in the chat? There's a plane flying by. Every time I make note of a plane, I can never hear it in the audio when I go back to edit it. But every time I hear it in real life, it does sound like it's going to crash into my house. So every time I brace for impact a bit. Imagine being on a flight and, the flight attendant's like, brace for impact. Oh my God, speaking of that, did y'all see that video of the United flight? I think it was a United flight. And like one of the wheels fell off of it. And so the flight crew was like, brace for impact. And they were chanting, brace, 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 brace. That would have made things 1,000 times worse for me. If they were all chanting brace, 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 I would have just like probably been puking everywhere, maybe shitting my pants a bit and scared to death. And that would not help with my anxious state that I would have been in that moment. The older I get and the more my frontal lobe develops, the more I realize things are terrifying that I never used to think were scary. That is, flying is part of that list. Now, like when I fly, I just think about like crazy shit I never thought of before. Where it's like before I would like be in the plane, I'd be like, what's that one song? Like a G6, like a G6. Now I'm feeling so fly like a G6. Yeah. I would be in the plane really thinking like, this is the life. And now when I'm in a plane, I think, well, I hope that everybody knows I love them. Because I might not make it out of this thing. And I'm dead serious when I say that because like, it's just like something about that frontal lobe developing makes you realize like everything is terrifying. Getting in your car, flying in a plane, roller coasters. Hello. I don't think I'll ever ride a roller coaster again. And I used to be like that bitch who was like, I love like the scarier, the better, the more insane, the better, the less safe, the better. Now I've seen one too many people fly out of those things. Like literally on TikTok last week, I watched a video of this lady who flew out of a roller coaster and died. And apparently that was like the 6th time this year at that one theme park. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Oh my God. It's like, I don't know. Like I get it now. Like when my dad would like freak the absolute fuck out if we were like on a skateboard or like on a fucking razor scooter or some shit. And why we were never allowed to have a trampoline. And why whenever we would like jump in the pool or jump into the lake, he would like scream at us because he thought that we were gonna like hit our head on like a rock or a tree or like the bottom of the pool and like die or like become paralyzed. Because it's like the older you get, the more terrifying life becomes, because like you just think about like the worst case scenario all the time. Like I don't know why, but I've developed this fear of driving over bridges now after watching, that giant oil tanker, whatever that was, that storage ship or whatever, like crash through that bridge and kill all those people. Now I'm just thinking of like, well, regardless if there's a boat under me or not, is the construction of that bridge trustworthy? And when was the last time that it was like, really checked out? Probably like over 60 years ago, for real. And like, I don't know, like I just think about the worst stuff. So literally when I drive across bridges now, I'm in my car and I'm planning my exit. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna you know, make sure that I can unbuckle my seatbelt, and like I know my sunroof thing is right here, and like, you know, because I got a small car, so like they're always saying like get to the back of the car. Like I don't have a back. It's this window or I'm dead type shit. So like I'm thinking about that. I'm going over this fucking bridge. I turn my music down. I'm just like planning my escape because I think I'm gonna die when I drive over a bridge now. And yeah, the older I get, the more terrifying life becomes. And now I think I'm realizing why a lot of people have kids really young, because like it's just like la 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 la, like nothing could stop us. Like we'll just be parents and everything is great, and you know the world is awesome. Because the older you get, the more you're like, I don't know if I could bring a child into this fucking death trap. Death trap equaling world. Like seriously, like I'm just thinking about everything like impending doom and shit. So how's y'all's Thursday going? Wow. That was a crazy way to start a club meeting. I'm telling you. Sometimes your president just needs to spiral a bit. So just let her get it off her chest. You know, sometimes I just need to do that. The Olympics is on. I just finished watching, and by just, I mean a few hours ago, finished watching the U.S. gymnastics team win gold again. So that's awesome. I do this crazy thing when I watch the Olympics, and every time the U.S. is competing, I just start crying. What is that about? I literally have no patriotism until the Olympics are on, and then for some reason, like, I just like, I get so emotional for absolutely no reason, and I get so anxious. Like, I was watching the men's gymnastics yesterday, and like the way I had like full blown anxiety watching it, as if like I had something on the line with all of this. Like, girl, calm down. Y'all, literally watching like fucking skateboarding, I was tearing up. Skateboarding. I don't think the Olympic skateboarders were even that like pressed about anything. Like they seem chill as fuck and like just, you know, happy to be there and like, you know, doing the best that they can. I'm sitting here pins and needles, like about to fucking bawl my eyes out because I'm like, I don't know if I'm like, I think the thing is like, I'm so excited for them and so like happy that they get to have this opportunity. And like, it's crazy how young everybody is. And I'm just thinking like, does it even sink in that you're at that level of professionalism and, you know, like unobtainability by like any other athletic feat? Like nobody else is even going to come close to you in that regard, and like you're so esteemed in all of these things, and like does that ever sink in? Like I don't. Yo, there was just a gunshot. What the fuck? Oh my god, I really hope the audio picked that up. What the fuck? You guys, it's 3:45. Oh my god, now I'm getting sentimental about the fucking Olympics, and then nothing like a gunshot to snap you back into reality of like the impending doom. See, this is why I'm scared of the world, because what the fuck? Oh my god, I literally ducked. Like in this video, I literally ducked. Oh my god, I hope the audio caught that. That is crazy. Oh man, you gotta love living in like a city, dude. Like that's just the shit you hear. That is insane. Okay, wow. Hard pivot, I guess. So, wow, that was crazy. Jesus Christ. Okay, so a quick callback to a few episodes ago and a few, you know, days/weeks ago in terms of like the internet drama things going on. So a couple weeks ago on the pod, we were talking about the whole Cody Ko and Tana situation. And I was talking about how I was like, you know, a really long time fan and I unsubscribed to all Cody stuff, including TMG Studios, which is their like paid tier that you can like watch bonus content on. They do like an extra podcast episode for all of their podcasts. They do like they have like live streams once a year that you can like participate in, whatever. Okay, so I unsubscribed from that, but I hadn't deleted the app yet. Okay. On God, what day was it? Friday. So it's been almost a full week in TV time in podcast land. But in real life, today's Tuesday, and I got this message on Friday from TMG Studios because I still have the app on my phone. After this, I deleted the app. But this is what they sent out to everybody who has the app in regards to the Cody situation. So I thought I would read it to you guys. I'm sure you've seen it on TikTok or like whatever, but if you haven't, here's your inside scoop. Okay. It says, this morning we shared the note below with employees of TMG Studios. We wanted to share it with you all as well. Our shows will resume in the coming weeks. Thank you for your support. Okay, here's the letter. Hi, everyone. We want to start by thanking you for all of your patience while we were working. Jesus Christ, let me start over. Hi, everyone. We want to start by thanking you all for your patience while we were working to figure out the best path forward for the studio. We know it's been a very strenuous few weeks for everyone, and we really appreciate your willingness to bear with us. You are the most creative and incredible group of people. We feel so lucky to work with you all. TMG Studios is what it is because of you. We couldn't be more proud of the incredible roster of talent we have been privileged to work with and everything we've accomplished together. As we enter into this next phase of the studio, we wanted to let you know that Cody will no longer be involved in the day-to-day operations at TMG Studios. What has transpired over the past few weeks is a personal issue for him, and Cody wants to remove any effect this is having on your professional and personal lives and the work that you and our other hosts have done to make TMG Studios so successful. Noel will continue to lead the team. His top priority remains the life and growth of the studio and its talent. Our audience sees your hard work every week, and we want that to continue. They deserve it, and so do you. We have built something truly special, and he's committed to keeping that alive and well. Sincerely, Cody and Noel. So this is exactly what I predicted would happen with, like, if he apologized, it would be behind some form of paywall because that's kind of his track record in the past. But also, I thought it was very interesting the way that whole email was phrased. It was, from a perspective as if Cody wasn't, part of the conversation. But then at the end it says from Cody and Noel, which is just really weird because it's like, I don't know, the language doesn't really make sense in terms of like who the message is coming from. Like it just read very strange. But also, like, I think, y'all, he's literally retiring from the internet. Like he has to. Like this whole situation was just like way too much to come back from. So yeah, I just thought that was crazy because literally, like, I guess they're going to continue the studio. I'm interested to see like what this is actually going to look like because like the TMG podcast is Noel and Cody. So I wonder if that podcast is just going to not exist anymore, which I don't think Noel would really care. It didn't seem like he was that into it anyways, but it's just very interesting. And like I talked about a couple weeks ago, like Drew and Inya, the two podcasters from Emergency Intercom, like had already pulled away. And I watched their episode last week where they said, we have so much to talk about, but we can't really say anything. So I'm assuming they had to sign some sort of NDA, or in their, exit contract, they had to like basically say that they wouldn't discuss it, which that makes sense since they were able to leave so quickly. But yeah, I mean, just crazy news in terms of like online drama. And I feel like not that it's a successful cancellation because like he's still going to make money for forever unless YouTube demonetizes his content, which I doubt that they will, off of those videos that already exist. And also like he has so much involvement in like so many other things. So like he's not going to be truly canceled, but I just think it's interesting how it's like, this is a giant creator. So for like some people who aren't very like chronically online like myself, you might be thinking like, okay, like who cares? Like he got like his just desserts, whatever. But at the same time, like this kind of thing doesn't normally happen to creators as big as him, like accountability wise. Like people don't really hold creators of his size or his stature accountable. And so the fact that the internet really did is like, it's really big for women in general, because it's just showing like you can't get away with this type of behavior, even if you're like the most beloved fucking guy on the internet. Like who fucking cares? You're just a man at the end of the day, and like you did something gross and you should be punished for it. So I think that was just like really interesting to see. I do think it's interesting that he's still going to be a part of the TMG studios, but he's just like in the background or whatever, which means he'll still make money off of TMG. So I feel like TMG as a studio will slowly kind of, I don't know, dissolve as well, because I don't think monetarily after all of this, like I'm sure they took a huge hit off of the subscriptions. I can only imagine how many people left after all that. So I'm sure it's only a matter of time before like they can't afford to like keep that going, because I mean they produce a number of podcasts. I'm assuming own these studios and like, or at least pay rent off of them. So like that's got to be really expensive. They're also, these people are on payroll. They have a whole production and everything, but it's very much giving like the Try Guys energy, except with the Try Guys, like they completely removed Ned from the whole situation. This Cody's still very much involved. So I don't know. I'm assuming it has something to do with the ownership of the company. And like, if I were to guess, I would say that Cody probably owns more of TMG than Noelle did. And so that's probably why this is a weird thing, because I could see it being some sort of like 60-40 ownership situation in which Cody owns the majority stake. So like, unless Noelle like bought him out of it, like he probably wouldn't give up that ownership, obviously. So I don't know. It's really interesting. But with that being said, this is showing the whole world that Noelle is still sticking with Cody. And so I think this is going to affect his career as well. So yeah, I don't know. I just thought I would share because I got that update because I still had the app on my phone. And I was like, oh my God, I knew that they were going to do this shit and throw it behind a paywall. I guess speaking of chronically online, I have really turned into an iPad kid recently in the past like couple of weeks, to the point where like I take my phone into the shower and watch YouTube videos while I'm bathing. Literally while I'm in the shower, I have my phone. I like created this like setup in there. It's probably horrible for my phone, but I created this setup because on the back of my phone, I have one of those like card holder things, and it has like a pop socket attachment as well. And like I can like shove the card holder thing on this like wire shelf thing that I have in my shower that like holds like my shampoo and stuff like perfectly, and it's like eye level. So I literally watch YouTube videos while I'm in the shower. Like I'm like, give me my iPad. I can't go anywhere without my iPad. But yeah, I've really turned into an iPad kid recently, and I don't know why. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that like I'm like disassociating from a lot of the world and a lot of like, I don't know, like I've been really bad recently about just like not feeling things and avoiding emotion and like whatever. And so I feel like as a result of that, I've been like, you know, indulging in like YouTube specifically. And it's not like I have like all these like horrible things going on in my life or whatever, but like there's a lot of stuff personally that I've been like in the middle of, and like with my family and like other things. And so it's just like I feel like I have all these stressors in my life, and I'm one of these people who has like high functioning anxiety, to the point where like when I was younger, me and my mom, like I would go to my mom and I'd be like, Mom, my heart rate is like really, really high. And I'm like kind of sweating, and like, I don't know, like I just feel like I don't know what to do. Like I can't sit still, and I don't know, my stomach really hurts and like whatever. And she'd be like, oh, like you just have to go run it off. Like that happens. And whenever your heart rate gets high, you just have to go like exercise, and then your body catches up with your heart rate, and then it goes away. So literally, I didn't realize at the time that's called anxiety, and like those are the signs that you have like anxiety. But I didn't know that. And so what I would do is like, and when I say younger, I mean like literally through high school. I would run up and down the stairs in my house or like run around the house to like increase my, like what I thought I was doing was like increasing my heart rate to like catch up with my heart rate, I guess. And then my quote anxiety would go away. But in reality, I was just creating endorphins through exercising. And like, so it was like bringing down my anxiety. But I didn't know that. And my mom obviously like didn't know any better too. Like she wasn't like telling me I didn't have anxiety. She just like honestly didn't know what anxiety was. And neither did I at the time. And so like she'd just be like, oh, run it off. And I'd be like, oh yeah, that sounds good. And I used to tell people that like when people would be like, oh, I'm so like my heart rate, I'm so anxious, whatever. And I was like, oh, like that's not anxiety. Like that's just like this thing where you gotta go like exercise it out. Like, no, girl, that is called high functioning anxiety. Because the thing is like, I would still do things. Like it was never to the point where it was like, oh my God, if I leave my room, like the world's going to end, I'm going to die. It would be like, oh, you just have to deal with it. Like it would be like a perfect example. I had this internship one summer when I was in college and I hated it so much. I hated it so fucking much, you guys, to the point where like every single day, this job made me so anxious. Every single day I would get to work. I would swipe my like key fob, whatever, and I'm in this fucking sick ass like multi-story like skyscraper ass office. It was like really cool, and I'm like in there and I get inside. The moment I cross the threshold, I get like this overwhelming sense of nausea, and I go to the bathroom every single morning at this job after I would swipe my key fob and come in, puke, and then go sit at my desk and just like get to the day. And I had like I get cold sores whenever I'm like super stressed out. I haven't had cold sores in years, okay? Because I only get them if I'm stressed or if I'm like deathly ill, like I'll get them. And I hadn't had them in a really long time. And literally this entire summer internship, I had them like profusely, like to the point where I was like, oh my God, I have some sort of like fucking mouth disease because I have like canker sores and cold sores like on my lips and in my mouth. And like, it was crazy. And I was puking every day. I was like, my body was like shutting down. I would exercise like every single day so much. I wouldn't eat all day and then I'd come home and I'd binge eat. And I was just like, you know, that's just life. Like that's just work. That's just how you feel when you have a job. It's not. That was anxiety. That was high functioning anxiety, because I was terrified of my boss and I hated that job and everything I did was horrible and I didn't like it at all. But yeah, like, so that's what I'm saying. Like I have like very high functioning anxiety and like I will just continue on with my day. Sometimes I don't even realize like I'm in like a super anxious state until I like will like feel like I need to punch a hole in a wall. And then I'm like, ooh, I need to like take a moment. One vivid memory I have of like an anxiety attack I had was when me and my mom, it was before this internship started. Me and my mom went to fucking, do you guys know what the Tanger outlets are? It's like a franchise of outlet malls like across America. Okay, there's one in Branson, Missouri. So let me paint this picture for y'all. Branson, Missouri, already like one of the worst places I think you could be. And no offense if you live there. I feel like if you live there, you know it fucking sucks. Like, it's not fun. It's corny. It's like white trash. Like, they have like the Titanic Museum, like Silver Dollar City, like the Dolly Parton bullshit, like where they do the Dixie Stampede thing. Is it even called that? Isn't Dixie like a bad, like we can't say that anymore? I don't know. Sorry if I just said something offensive. I know like the chicks are now just the chicks because like that word you're not supposed to use. But like, it wouldn't surprise me if in Branson, like it's still called that. Whatever. Okay, so they have a Tanger outlet mall there, right? So they have a outlet for Banana Republic. And me and my mom went there. And I'm in this fitting room with my mom. And my mom is the greatest mom ever. Okay, she is so like supportive of everything I do. She's like my number one fan. She's like literally the greatest human being on the face of the fucking planet, and like I love her to death. and she's so patient and she's so awesome. And we're in this fucking Tanger outlet fitting room. I have like 75 piles of just like this, the fuggliest, like 2 seasons old, like Banana Republic corporate bullshit. I'm trying it on. Nothing is fitting right. It's hot because it's also the middle of the fucking summer. And all of the clothes, because they're like old, like the thing about outlet malls is a lot of it is like from the season before. So it's all winter fucking clothes I'm trying on in the summer. It's like wool fucking slacks and like sweaters and shit. And I'm sweating in these like bright ass lights, and like it's an outlet mall. So things are just like all over the place. It's messy. It's not nice. It's not, you're not getting the experience of like an actual Banana Republic. You're getting the experience of like an old fucking Navy. Okay. There's babies yelling and crying. I'm sweating like crazy. And I just have this moment. I look at my mom, I'm like, I have to go. She's like, what? I'm like, I have to go. I'm sorry. And I like just get dressed, and she's like, okay, we'll leave. And she's like, do you want to buy anything? I'm like, nope, we got to go. And so we just literally leave all this. I feel so bad for the retail workers, but I was like in that moment, I was about to lose my fucking shit. And we just walk out and like go into the car and sit in the air conditioning for like 20 minutes and don't talk, because I'm like, I'm about to freak out. And it's just like things like that I don't realize I have anxiety until it's like to the boiling point. And I've had moments like that a lot in my life. And most of the time it's like at either a mall or a grocery store, or just like places where there's like a lot of people, and like I'm moving around. I don't really know where things are. I'm like hyper vigilant. I also like, I don't know, when I'm with other people. This never happens when I'm just by myself. Well, it's happened a couple times, but it's never like super bad. But it's like when I'm with other people and I'm shopping, like I cannot enjoy the shopping. I don't know if you guys can relate to that, but like I think about them the whole time, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm probably taking too long, or like I want to look at stuff, but like I also don't want to be annoying and like be looking too long, or like not long enough. And like if I can't find anything, like I don't also want to just like have to walk beside them the whole time and be annoying and like put pressure on. Like I just overthink everything. And so I don't enjoy shopping with people unless it's literally like somebody who knows me like super, super well, and we can kind of just like go do our own thing and like gather at the checkout line. But yeah, I don't know. So the anxiety recently has been really, really bad, and I haven't been able to just like get over it, because life just keeps going so quickly, and I don't really have a moment of just like, I don't know, addressing it. And so I've literally just been iPad kid disassociation in the shower like crazy, because if I sit too long with just my own thoughts, like I will lose my mind. Okay, but yeah, so that's like some crazy stuff that I just kind of threw on everybody, but I just feel like it's really relatable. I feel like almost everybody has anxiety, and I feel like right now especially, like the conversation around mental health has like really opened the door for people to talk openly about it. But I think a lot of times, like specifically with like anxiety or depression, I feel like a lot of people think that it has to look a certain way for it to be that, which is like, oh, I'm like agoraphobic. I can't go outside now because I just like can't face the world, and I'm bawling my eyes out and whatever. It's like sometimes it's not like that. Like sometimes it's literally just like being quiet and like going about your life and acting like everything is fine. And in reality, it's like it's not, but like I can't deal with it. I'm just like not really that person who's like very like telling people about shit when it's going on in my life. It's kind of more like I just kind of deal with it on my own, and then if I bring it up, it's like in passing later on, and they're like, what the fuck, why didn't you say anything? It's just like, oh, it's fine, like whatever, I got over it, which probably isn't a great way to deal with shit. But I'm a middle child, so I don't like to make things other people's problems, you know. I'm kind of like the one who's like always has to deal with other people's stuff. So like I don't have people. I do have people. That's the thing. This is all internal. I do have people I can talk to about my shit. I just don't want to. I just don't really want to. I'm like, I would just rather just deal with this on my own and like, you know, whatever. But in other news, If I look crazy right now on video, which it's been 30 minutes, so I've been looking crazy. It's because I took a shower, like right before a shower. Why did I say it like that? Ew. I took a shower not too long ago, and so my hair is still wet, and I have no makeup on, and I look really not great because I'm going to dinner tonight, and I didn't want to get ready beforehand, because also I've been working, and so I'm going to be getting ready after the pod to get ready for dinner, but I'm going to dinner with one of my friends who I literally haven't hung out with since April, which is crazy because we literally live right down the street from each other. But it's been this like season in her life, especially, where she's just been so busy. And for me, I've just been like, I don't know, like, when you have like, it's like there was no falling out. It was just like things got really busy in their life, and there was a couple of moments of like trying to hang out and like plans kind of falling through because of whatever. And like I recently have like had a bunch of moments of realization where it's like, okay, like I really like this person, I love them, they're like, a sister to me, and I want them in my life, and I have to recognize that like they have a fuck ton going on, so like I have to be the one to reach out and like instigate hanging out and doing whatever. And like maybe there's going to be a period in my life where it will be different, where like I'll have a lot going on, and like I'll be super busy, so I won't be thinking about like, making plans or whatever. But I also, that doesn't mean like just because like they're not reaching out or whatever doesn't mean like they don't want to make plans, because I know the type of person they are. It's just like they're very like in the moment person. And so I don't know. I think growing up, you have to realize like friendships are not always going to be like simple, and they're also not going to always be like equal in terms of like effort, because everybody has like their own shit going on. And I think as an adult, it's really easy to self-isolate and to, have phases of life where you feel like you don't have a circle, and you feel like you don't have like friendships, and you feel like you can't reach out to people because like you haven't reached out to them in forever. And so like you don't want to be like the fucking like, like, oh, hey, I'm still here, but like whatever. And so it's like adult friendships are so hard, and like they can also feel kind of awkward, like trying to like rekindle a friendship that like there was really no falling off. There really was no like break or like reason to like stop hanging out. It just kind of happens. And so sometimes it can feel awkward because you're like, should I reach out first? Should they reach out first? Like, what should we do? And you just have to like kind of just forget about your ego and forget about, like the politics of it all, of like, well, if I do this, do I look annoying, or like, who cares? Like, just send the text, just call them, just make the plans, like just do something, because life goes so fast and everybody is living their own life. And like, you're going to wake up one day and like realize it's been like 4 months since you've hung out with your quote best friend. And you're going to look at yourself and be like, what am I doing? And I don't know. I've just had that recently. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that a lot of people in my life are having these like big moments in their life, whether that's having kids or getting married or getting into like really serious relationships or buying houses or like whatever. And I'm just a spectator in all of it. And sometimes I feel like, not that it's like I'm forgotten, because like that's nobody's intention, you know what I mean? But like the reality is, it's like you're at some level going to get further away from your friends in life when they get closer to other people. Like that's just life. Like that's just what happens. Whether that's if they move away, or whether that's if they get in a relationship or whatever, they get a big promotion at their job and they're busy as fuck and like they can't hang out the same anymore. Um, and so recently I've been feeling like, you know, all these people that I claim to like really care about and really love, I'm like, well, I'm not showing them love outside of like fucking sending a like to their social media shit or like commenting on their social media. And I'm like, that's not what friendship is. You know what I mean? Like that's not meaningful. That's not real. Like none of that is real. Like what real life is like picking up the phone and calling somebody and, you know, having a conversation or sending a card or going to dinner. Like little things like that is what's real and what's memorable and meaningful. And so, yeah, today I am going to dinner with one of my friends, and that's why I look ugly. And I didn't mean for this to get like sentimental, but it really is one of those things where I think the older you get, the harder it is to make friends, to maintain friendships, to, you know, do things with your friends, because a lot of friendships when you're younger are just, hey, let's just hang out at somebody's house and do nothing, you know? And that's a valid thing to do, but I think it's harder to make an excuse to do that when you're older because everybody's time is more valuable or seemingly valuable. And so you don't want to just say like, hey, do you want to come over and do nothing? Even if maybe that's what you want to do and maybe that's what they want to do. But sometimes it's hard to commit to a plan that way. So yeah, I don't know, reach out to your friends or maybe think about, maybe you're really great at it and you can offer some advice to people who maybe struggle with this. But I know specifically for me, like it's really hard for me to like remember to like consciously remember to like, it's not hard for me to make the effort. It's hard for me to remember to make the effort. And I feel like that's probably how everybody feels. Because we're all just so busy in life, but sometimes like you have to just step back and be like, but this is the part of life that is like the most meaningful. Like your career is important and, you know, your like accomplishments and whatever, like that's important. But also like this is the stuff that like I feel like gives your life purpose and meaning, and like it's just the feel good stuff, you know? And like especially like I feel like laughter is so important and, you know, reminiscing and whatever. So I'm just really excited to go to dinner tonight with this friend because I haven't seen them in forever. And we literally live like 5 minutes from each other. And so that's just like fucked up. But I'm trying. So that's the good of it. I gave you the bad and now I'm giving you the good. So reach out to your friends, see what they're up to, see what they're doing. Okay, the last thing I wanted to talk about before we get into the segment of the show where I read y'all's confessions and advice. Last thing I wanted to talk about is kind of also on a serious-ish note, but it is the conversation around breaking up and ending a relationship and the importance that, you know, going through a breakup or being the person to break up with somebody or being the one who got broken up with is to your growth as a, you know, partner, as a person, as a friend, as whatever. And it's just like something that A, nobody prepares you for, and B, nobody is the expert in, because nobody enjoys doing it. You know, it sucks. It's like one of the worst things that you have to do in life, because I think constantly in life, a lot of us, you know, want companionship, whether that's friendship or an intimate companionship with somebody who, like, you know, you love and you share memories with and you spend your life with and whatever. And most of the time, these have an ending date. We don't know these going into it, obviously. This isn't like some sci-fi ass movie where there's like a countdown to like your breakup day. Honestly, sometimes that might be nice to have, at least then goddamn. But you don't really know these things. And I think for women, also, this has nothing to do with me. I'm not in a relationship. I haven't been in a relationship in a really long time. But somebody very close to me in life is going through this. And I just thought it would be a good topic to talk about because I don't think people really talk about this a lot, because I think relationships are so glorified and so like aspirational, and people are always talking about, finding the one and whatever, and like whatever, and dating and getting out there and putting yourself out there. But a lot of times, like, it's not going to work out. You can put yourself out there 100 times and it might end up with 100 failures. And that's okay. But breaking up is something that nobody prepares you for. There's not like a perfect way to do it. Somebody's probably always going to be more upset than the other. It's messy. It sucks. There's going to be periods of like, resentment or regret, or you're going to go back and forth in your mind of like, am I doing the right thing? Am I not doing the right thing? And I think as women, maybe one universal thing that most of us, I'm not going to say we all because I don't know, but I feel like most of us as women, like, kind of let it go so much longer than it needs to in terms of like the end of a relationship. Like, we will let that thing marinate for like 4 months of just like, I don't really like this, but I don't want to like give up on it quite yet, or like I want to keep trying, or what if they change and go back, and it's like, girl, I hate to break it to you, sis, but like shit is over. And like, I've been that girl, I've hung on to shit, or like I've let people back into my life who have like proven like they don't give a fuck about me. They don't care about this. They say one thing, they do another. Like, we've all done it. But I think it's important to know that like it's perfectly normal to break up with somebody. And also, it's like, if you're going to date in your lifetime, and if you're going to, have standards for your relationship, you're going to break up with people, and people are going to break up with you. And a lot of worth that we hold for ourselves is through the eyes of others, which, I think is almost impossible to just not do. But it's also like, that's not how you should view yourself. Some of it I feel like can be constructive, if, you might learn through relationships that, hey, maybe you're a bit overbearing when it comes to certain things, or maybe you have, some boundary problems when it comes to, letting other people do things because of your own insecurities, whatever. Like, there's opportunity to learn from that. But I think sometimes we allow other people to have too much of a hold on our view of ourselves or our worth. And that is when post breakup, or staying with somebody who like really doesn't care about you, becomes very toxic, because it's like you're letting their opinion of you or their behavior towards you determine your worth or your status as a partner or a girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. And so, yeah, this is just more of a message as like as an older sister, as a girl, as somebody who has seen people in their lives and has gone through breakups and has seen people close to them, struggle to, initiate a breakup or whatever. I just want to say, like, A, I promise it's not the end of the world. B, it's going to be hard. And it's going to be hard and weird for like a long time afterwards, probably. I'm not even going to bullshit you on that. Like, it will be weird and hard, and you're probably going to fuck up and go back with them. And it's going to end up in the same thing, because like if you broke up once, it's probably not going to work out a second time. I hate to tell it to you that way, but I'm just being honest. I don't know. And I just want to say, like, it's okay and it's a part of life. And also, if you're struggling with it, like, that's okay too. Like, struggle, girl. Like, we've all been there. But I just thought it was important to remind everybody that, like, breakups are real. They fucking suck. Nobody likes them. Like, but it's also, in the grand scheme of life, not that big of a deal. Like, I look back on like people that I literally was like, I would die for them. Like, I look at them now and I'm like, I wouldn't really care if I never saw them again, you know? So, time heals all wounds and it will get better. But I just thought I needed to say that. Okay, this is the part of the show where I open it up to our lovely club members to write in advice that they have or that they would like to ask me, or to confess to something, and not in a state of blackmail. I'm not going to hold it against you, but just in a sense that you have nobody else to tell and you just like need to get it off your chest because, like, I don't know, it's like a big secret and like you can't tell anybody about it, but like maybe you just want to put it out there into the ether, and you know, it's all anonymous, of course, unless you want me to tell your name. But other than that, it's anonymous. So, continuation of one of last week's write-ins. I want to go over this one quick first, and then we will get into the rest. So she commented on the YouTube video and was like, hi, I'm the one who like wrote in, like, I have an update on the situation if you want to know. And I was like, oh, of course, like the club wants to know, girl, like, let us know. So this is what she says. This is a long update, so I'm sorry in advance. Oh, by the way, this was the write-in of the girl who was like, am I the asshole for basically not wanting to go to the movies because there was a girl who's invited that like flirts with her boyfriend. Okay, yeah. And I was like, no, you're not the asshole. Like, trust your gut. She said, the movie happened yesterday as of writing this, and things honestly went better than I expected up until the end. If it wasn't for his cousin being with me the whole time, it would have gone horribly, lol. So the seating arrangement was in 2 rows. On our row was his brother, his cousin, me, and him, while his friends were sitting in the row behind us. When introducing us, he sort of just pointed to us and was like, this is my brother, this is my cousin, and my girlfriend, and didn't really say anything other than that. So anyways, the movie was good, and I didn't have any issues until it was over. His cousin and I went to the bathroom, and when we walked out, they were all standing in a group, and my boyfriend put his arm around me for a few seconds and then went back to whatever he was doing. Whenever he said anything, the girl would repeat whatever he said and then would start giggling, which in my opinion was weird. He's very I'm so sorry. I don't have dyslexia. I just am like fucking stupid, I swear. He's very oblivious and oh my God, he's very oblivious and is awful at social cues. So I know it wasn't intentional, but it did leave me pretty upset. About an hour or 2 after we had gotten home, the girl once again followed him on Instagram, but he decided to block her. Sorry about how long this update was, but I'm really glad you're invested in this, LMAO. Thank you for the update. I appreciate that. Also, the block, good move. And yeah, that giggling shit would have pissed me the fuck off because, like, what's so fucking funny, girl? You know, my boyfriend's not a fucking stand-up comedian. Also, why are you repeating everything he's saying and then laughing? Like, are you his number one fan or what? Like, I don't know. That shit would piss me the fuck off. But I'm glad the movie went well. All things considered. So thank you for the update. I'm sure the club members were also dying to know. Okay. This person says, any experience with getting a copper IUD? I'm off hormonal birth control, but still want protection. Okay, so I have never used an IUD. However, I did really look into the copper IUD because there was a period of my life. Right now, I'm just not having sex with anybody because I'm not dating and like I'm scared of men, and yeah, it's just one of those things. So like I'm not on any birth control, any birth control. So yeah, but I did look into the copper IUD for a long time. My main thing for not getting an IUD, honestly, like, and this is probably just on some like baby shit, but like I don't want to get it inserted inside of me. Like I'm scared, which is funny because I literally like I don't have any issue with blood or shots or whatever, but something about like that just being in you for forever, not for forever, but like indefinitely until you go get it removed or whatever. Like, I don't know. I don't like something about that in my brain. I don't like. And also, like, I don't know. But I know a lot of people who have an IUD and really like it. But I don't think I know anybody who has the copper one. And so if you don't know, the copper IUD has no hormones in it. It's just the like IUD shape. And something about the copper like kills the sperm, I think. It's like some weird reaction. So if like a guy finishes inside of you, you can't get pregnant. Or the chances are like really, really low. But I don't know. I've also like when I was on my deep dive of it, I feel like the internet's just such a bad place to get information about like shit because everybody has their own unique experience with medication or with like things like this. So like I feel like when I was looking into it, it was like so many horror stories that like I just got too scared and was like fuck that, like I'm just not going to do it. But also like I'm sure there's so many people who have like no issue with it at all. So if you're a club member and have a copper IUD, let me know, write in so I can fill this member in with a better, I don't know, story. And maybe you had it and you fucking hated it, like let me know. Or maybe you have it and you love it, like let me know, because like I want to help them out, but I don't have an answer because I don't know. I've never had an IUD. The only birth control I ever used was just a hormonal like pill birth control. Okay, this one says advice for finding hobbies and sticking to them. Wow, I am the hobby queen. Like literally I have so many fucking hobbies because I'm the type of person who like I think it's probably the ADHD, but like I always am doing something. But most of my hobbies are all like creative. So I feel like the first thing you need to figure out is like what do you enjoy doing? Because I enjoy like making, like physically making things, whether that's like cooking or painting or drawing or like these bracelets I'm making for this giveaway. Like it's just like little things like that. Like I love making shit. And so, and like all creative things like video editing, like whatever, like I really do enjoy all of that stuff. So for me, those are the hobbies that I pick up. Sticking to them now, that's hard. This is why I go through like phases. Like this past weekend, like I haven't painted in a really long time. And then this past weekend I was cleaning and my roommate had bought this like, it was like kind of like a picture frame, but it was like shaped weird and it had like a canvas backing and it had like a picture on it. We got it at Goodwill and like the canvas backing thing was just random and didn't match anything on our house. And she was like, should I get this? I was like, oh yeah, like get it and like I can paint something on it. But like I hadn't touched it. And then this weekend I was cleaning the house, literally mid clean session. I looked over at it and I just got this urge. I was like, if I don't do this now, I will never do it. So I just interrupted my whole cleaning day to paint on this thing. And then I was like, wow, I really like painting. And then I was like, okay, I'm good on painting for like a month or whatever. So I think it's also like, I think with hobbies, a lot of times people are like, if you don't fully commit, like it's a waste of time. But I come back to it. Like I just cycle out my hobbies. So like right now, I'm really into this like bracelet making or whatever. And in like a month, I probably won't remember it even exists and I'll probably move on to something else. But I would say figure out what your general thing is. Like, do you like exercising? If so, like maybe you do a sport or like learn, I don't know, like a outside skill of like, I also run. I would call that a hobby, but it's also part of like me working out, which I would say is more of just like general health for me. It's not really something that I'm like, I love exercising, you know? Like growing up my hobby was dancing and that was like a competitive sport that I did. So that was kind of a hobby. So I would figure out like what do you enjoy doing and then nicheify the hobby from there. And sticking to it, I would just like stick to shit in that umbrella. So like for creative for me, it's like decorating cakes I like to do, cooking food I like to do, making art I like to do, like doing shit like that creatively is like so fulfilling. But I have all these other like categories within just creative hobbies that I can do, so I don't ever get like bored. That's how I would say to stick to it. But yeah, hobbies are so important, I think, as adults, because when you're a kid, you have like after school activities, which I feel like take the place of hobbies. It's like whether you did like piano lessons, or you did dance class, or you played competitive sports, or maybe your mom took you to like, I don't know, like choir or sewing or whatever. Like I was always doing shit my whole life. And like I had all of this like crafting shit at home, and I just did so much stuff constantly. And my parents were really good about like fostering environments to where we could like do shit like that. So I would just say like, yeah, figure out what you're into and then go from there. And I think hobbies are like crucial for just like having fun and having purpose outside of like your life. Like I'm always so like persistent about this too with like friends or like family. I'm like, you guys need to have something that you're into that's not your job and that's not the internet, because if that's all that you like your world is going to be very small and very dark and very just like boring. I'm actually currently also right now learning Japanese because I really want to go to Japan someday. It's like a bucket list item for me. I want to do, all start in like South Korea, Japan, Australia. Like I want to do all of that shit one day, but specifically for Japan, like I really want to go. And the reality is it'll probably have to be like a solo trip, because I don't know, a lot of people who would also want to go or whatever, and it's an expensive thing. So I want to go, and I don't want to go and like not understand the language or not be able to talk or like read signs. And like I really want to go and like immerse myself in the culture, and I want to know culturally like what's appropriate. And like I don't know, I don't want to be like that dumb American who's just like like walking in and doing all the touristy shit. Like I want to be respectful and whatever. So I've made it like a goal this year, and moving forward, to learn another language. And for me, that's Japanese, because I consume a lot of Japanese media as well. So it's making the language learning process a lot easier, because I'm constantly like hearing it, reading like the translations and everything too. So the learning process has been going a lot quicker than in the past when I've tried to learn other languages, and it's just like been more difficult because I'm not like constantly like hearing it in conversation or whatever. So, but yeah, there's so many hobbies that you can have, and there's so many groups of people that participate in these hobbies. So it's also a great way to find community. I unfortunately do the majority of my hobbies by myself. But for me, that's really fun, because I do enjoy like having like moments where I can just, do my own thing and whatever. But then also like participate in communities like of discussion about it, like in real life. Like it's nice to talk to people who also like enjoy the things that you enjoy doing. But yeah, I find hobbies, they're so important, and they bring so much fun to your life. And it's fun as an adult to like always learn. Like I think once we get out of school and we kind of get into like just like day in and day out of life, it's so easy to just stop learning and stop advancing your skill sets. But in reality, like those are the things that like give your life meaning and like feel so good to accomplish. Like, so I think it's really important. And it's never too late to like learn how to do something. I mean, last year I started playing guitar, and this year I'm learning a language. You can always learn how to do stuff. I'm taking like these like film classes through this like free thing online that's like through this YouTube channel. Like literally there's so many ways to learn how to do stuff for free online. And so yeah, pick up a hobby. And let me know if anybody has like cool hobbies too that they want to shout out. Send me a message and I'd love to share them so people have like other ideas of like things that they can do. But yeah, there's so many. Honestly, a good way to find hobbies too is like go on TikTok and like just type in like hobbies, like, or like fun hobbies or creative hobbies, or athletic hobbies, like things like that, like keywords like that. It's so easy to find hobbies and then also find communities like to join that partake in said hobbies. But yeah, I think that's going to conclude this week's episode. There's a couple more write-ins, but I got to get ready for this dinner. And also, I wanted to let everybody know, thank you to the people who have written reviews so far on Apple Podcast. Last week, I made an announcement talking about, if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, if you follow the podcast on Instagram and TikTok, and if you leave a review on Apple Podcasts, I will make you a friendship bracelet and send it to you for the first 5 or for 5 people who do it or whatever. I'm just going to send it to anybody. So literally, if I have to make, this would be amazing if I got 100, but I bet there's going to be probably like 10 max who do it. But I'm having so much fun making these bracelets and I'm really enjoying it. And I would really love to just send you my token of appreciation with a friendship bracelet and a card from me. I know it's not a lot, but I really do appreciate you guys. And at the beginning here, you guys are what's keeping me, motivated to do this. And I love this community that we're creating, and I really want it to keep expanding. So these reviews are so important to me. So if you leave a review or you've left a review in the past, please send me a DM. And just let me know, and I would love to send you one of these friendship bracelets that I'm making because I'm having so much fun making them. I am getting a slight arthritis in my hands, but it's fine. I get that anyways from working and scrolling on my phone, so why not keep the good times rolling with the arthritis. But yeah, send me a DM and I'll message you, and then you can send me a mailing address, and I'd love to send you a friendship bracelet. So there's no more contests. I'm just going to send them to anybody who does it and sends me a DM. So thank you guys so much for listening. Subscribe to the YouTube. The YouTube is Starnesy. So it's STARNESEY on YouTube. It's my personal YouTube channel. I just have yet to post any personal videos. It's just been the podcast. But my podcast lives on my YouTube channel. It's called The Girls Club. Y'all are here right now. Subscribe to the YouTube. You can follow on Instagram and TikTok. It's thegirlsclub.pod on both of those. And last, leave a review on Apple Podcasts if you're listening over there, or if you have Apple Podcasts and want to leave a review. And if you could rate it 5 stars on Spotify, that would be great too. But send me a DM if you leave a written review on Apple, and I will send you a friendship bracelet. And I love you, and see you next time. Bye.
The Girls Club, 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 the Girls Club. It's my club and I'm a girl, yeah.